Hey, what's going on today, guys? My name is Trey. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be going over the 3 countries that I would move to instantly if I moved back to Europe. So stay tuned. Let's get into it. Now, before we dive too deep into the video, I do have to make a quick disclaimer. The one country that will be completely omitted from this list, and I think it comes as no surprise because I've already lived there, is Germany. Now, as I mentioned, I have lived in Germany for years. My son lives there currently, and I still do have ties and business ties in Germany. So I am probably the one American that you will meet other than Haley Alexis that loves Germany so much, but I will not be adding it to this list because I can go there right now if I wanted to. I can move there right now if I wanted to, but I've also lived there, so it wouldn't really be fair to add it to this list. But it's kind of sad to have to leave it off, but you understand why. Okay, so I do actually have 2 honorable mentions that I would be completely remiss if I did not include on the list, because I'm telling you right now, I would move to both of these countries in a heartbeat, but I do think it's important to keep it at 3 because I could probably put every country on there if I want. But these 2, I really loved my time there. Okay, so honorable mention number 1 is Denmark. Where do I start with Denmark? I mean, first and foremost, just a country that, I landed there and I instantly fell in love, right? It was gray. It wasn't rainy, it was a little bit chilly, but it just looked beautiful. The architecture, the proximity to water, just a lot of the things that I saw, it just seemed like such a well put together country in a number of ways. And then once I actually got a chance to step foot into, a city like Copenhagen, for example, and then even some of the smaller cities like Stevens Clint, and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that name specifically, but I just loved being there. There was like a real connection that I had with the nature and the people are just super friendly there. And I'd probably say the number one reason why I loved my time in Denmark was just how many outdoor offerings the country offers, right? And so I think a lot of people get sort of stuck and trapped in a city like Copenhagen, which is a huge European city, right? And that they forget to go out to the countryside, which is literally where like 95% of the country is. And so I enjoyed my time being out in the countryside. We got a chance to, see some archaeological sites. We got a chance to go to many of the parks that are out there. We got a chance to go to some of the port towns. And I mean, most importantly, I'm a runner, right? I just ran the Disney Marathon a few days ago. I'm running daily. And every single run that I had there, and I made sure I went to different places in different towns and whatnot, every single trail that I went on was flawless. The pavement was smooth, and even some of the dirt roads that I was on, right, they were just still well maintained and perfect. And then, you're looking off to your left and you're seeing some of the most amazing, rock formations, right next to a beach. And then off to my right, I've got, tons of, farmland and greenery and flowers and topiaries. And it's just, talk about a beautiful country, man. The Danish, they realize how beautiful their country is. But, for any Danes out there that are forgetting or trying to move somewhere else, just please keep in mind your country is incredible. The food, the historical importance of cities like Copenhagen, right? And just being in a position now where people from all over the world have realized how great of a place Denmark is. But now I'm hearing pretty much every single language and accent from around Europe in places throughout Denmark. And I just love that. I love the diversity. And, just talk about real hospitality, right? Every restaurant, every bar, every, I guess, tourist attraction that we went into, which they're going to be nice just because people were just so friendly and so welcoming and just happy to see you. And for a place that's pretty gray and dark for probably most of the year, it was just nice, especially coming from a place like Germany where you get this all the time. So yeah, I love Denmark. So if I moved to Denmark tomorrow, I'd probably end up making like Copenhagen my headquarters. But if I had a choice, like a real choice, I would move out to the countryside just because, like I said, I love to run. And while there's great places to run within Copenhagen, just the running experience out in the countryside is best I've ever had, right? I've run through Hawaii, I've run through Northern California, Southern California, Illinois farmland, Florida farmland. I've run all over for the most part. But just the visuals there, they just, you're in 13 miles and you don't realize it because everything around you is just so beautiful and impressive. Food is great, drinks are great, Cost of living is not terrible from a Scandinavian standpoint, but it's certainly not cheap by any means. But you know, I make good money, so I can make it work. But yeah, I love my time there. Smørrebrød, amazing. Yeah, I loved it, man. I would move there in a heartbeat. And to wrap up the honorable mentions, the next country that I want to mention is the Netherlands. Now, outside of the United Kingdom, the Netherlands is the country that I have been to the second most in Europe, and that's primarily because I do have a few friends that live there, but also it's in pretty close proximity to Germany, for example, but it's also in close proximity to the United Kingdom and France. So you're able to get in and out of there pretty quickly and seamlessly. It's also close to Belgium, another one of my favorite countries. Just a country that melts my heart. I love, obviously, Amsterdam, amazing city, super global, tons of tourism. But what really drew me to the Netherlands was just how beautiful the countryside is, right? In another country, from a running standpoint, super flat, super mild, right? From an incline-decline standpoint, and just, I loved it, man. I love the grayness. I love the rain. I think that just adds to the beauty and aesthetic of the countryside and the country in general. But, you know, I love the proximity to water. You know, if you're into marine activities, there's a ton of stuff to do out on the water. And just, if you're a person that's into wildlife, if you're a person that's into like plant life and, you know, greenery and whatnot, you're going to get loads of that in the Netherlands. I mean, and when the flowers bloom in the spring, just some of the most beautiful visuals that you will get a chance to see in your life. And the Netherlands for me will always be a place that's special. Now, I would 110% move to Amsterdam just because I can get whatever I want to eat there. I can handle business there. I can have friends meet me at an airport pretty quickly. I can make friends very easily there because there's a big bar scene and restaurant scene, and there's people from all over the world that live there, and it's a super global city, and I love that. There's a real energy there as well. Of course, there's a big marijuana scene. There's a huge underground drug scene and sex scene. It's a wild place, right, Amsterdam? And of course, I'm not going there for those things. But yeah, it's just there's a lot to see and do there. I wouldn't need a car. The public transit system is incredible, and honestly, the first thing I would do is I'd probably buy a bike, right? I think that's what most people that move to the Netherlands do, is they buy a bike just because of how bike friendly of a country it is. And I could be wrong here, but I think there are more bikes in the Netherlands than there are people, right? So for every person that you have that lives in the Netherlands, you've got like 2 to 3 bikes. So everybody's biking out there. Everybody is intelligent beyond belief when it comes to driving, biking, anything on wheels. People, you know, there's rarely accidents there. Super safe place from a country standpoint. I can't necessarily speak for Amsterdam itself, but I never saw any crime while I was there. I never saw any like drama or crazy situations with the police or politie or anything like that. Just all around amazing place. I also really love the fact that there's just always something going on there. There's always something to see and do, and it's just really just a great place. I don't know how you could ever be bored in a place like the Netherlands. And I'm sure, oh, Trey, if you live out in the countryside, there's not much to do. Dude, I'm going to find something to do if I'm out there, right? I'm going to go for a hike. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to do something, right? I'm going to go to the beach. I'm going to go take the boat out. I will do something. So I love the Netherlands. All right, now let's shake things up with my top 3. So coming in at number 3, and these are in order actually, so please don't take offense to it. This is my list, right? Make your own. Coming in at number 3 for me is the United Kingdom. Now, when I talk about places that I have been to the most, I have spent outside of Germany, obviously, I have spent the majority of my time in the United Kingdom. I had family that lived in Harrogate. I have friends that live in London currently. I have a few friends that live in Birmingham and Manchester and Liverpool. And it's just been a place that I have explored a ton. And I'm always sad to leave, not only because I have my friends and family there and whatnot, but I also have such a connection with the country itself. Now, I'm sure British people are probably watching this video like, this guy is nuts. Why the hell would he want to move here? It's cold, it's dark, it's gray. There's political issues, crime is increasing, all this stuff, right, that I see in the headlines and stuff. I don't care about that stuff, and probably because like I live here in like Florida, I'm in Miami, so I see the craziest stuff on earth, right, that you'll find. But yeah, I have such a real love and passion for the UK, Wales, Scotland, England, Northern Ireland. It's all great to me personally. Now, me, I would easily live in London, but I could see myself living in Liverpool or maybe Manchester. I don't know too much about Birmingham. No offense to anybody that lives in Birmingham. But I could also see myself living in a small town like Harrogate, right? I had family that lived there, and it's just a beautiful little town, tons of great trails and, outdoor stuff to do. And you're close to Scotland. There's just so much to do in the north and North Yorkshire. I just had an amazing time there. There's Leeds there. If you follow any sports, I follow English Premier League, and while my affinity goes towards Bayern Munich and the Bundesliga, I still have a great appreciation for the English Premier League because that's just where a lot of the best players on earth play. And it's, talk about an experience, right? Go to a pub during a Chelsea game, or go to a match to watch freaking Arsenal, right? You talk about some of the most incredible experiences that you'll ever have in your life. You'll get those in the United Kingdom, and I just love that. I love the food, I love the bars, I love all of the artistic opportunities available, concerts. Pretty much every artist on earth comes and performs in the United Kingdom. There's so much to see and do. Obviously, the British Empire once ruled there, so if you're big into history and you want to see some of the relics that are still standing in existence from the rule of the British Empire, I think they have like a pass or something like that where you pay $100 annually and you can go to like 100 different sites around the United Kingdom. And for me, a huge history buff, man, I love that stuff. That is invaluable for me. I would probably buy that pass for every year that I'm alive. It's just something that I could take my son to do and take my family and friends to do. I just love it. I love the UK. Now, I do want to laser in on the food because it's something that's huge to me. London, first off, the UK in general, but London specifically has some of the best curry I've ever had. Some of the best curry on earth. And I'm not a huge fan of Indian food. Really the only place on earth, I wouldn't even eat it in India. The only place on earth that I will eat curry, Indian curry, is London. Some of the best curry ever. But on top of that, you got Mexican food, you got American soul food, you've got German food, you've got Dutch food, you've got Jamaican food, you've got some of the best food from all over the world. Some of the best Chinese food I've ever had in my life was in freaking Brixton, of all places, right? So you just talk about being able to find whatever you want. That's big to me, is being able to find whatever I want. That you can find whatever you want in the UK, and London specifically, you can find whatever it is that you want. There's a ton of great business opportunities. I will say the only gripe that I have about the UK, and maybe this is just London specifically, there's a ton of congestion, right? London is the only place on earth that I've seen where it's a 10-minute walk, but a 45-minute drive, right? There's tons of construction happening there, but it's also just such a huge metropolis and congested place. But Birmingham is huge. Manchester is huge. Liverpool is huge. They're all, from a traffic standpoint, they're pretty congested for the most part, especially during the work week. But I'm sure somebody's probably going to say, Trey, you got public transit. Yes, the public transit in the UK is incredible. Buses, trains, long distance trains into the rest of Europe, just incredible. There is not an excuse on earth that anyone can give for not being able to get around in the UK. It's just incredible. You got Scotland, you've got Wales, you've got Northern Ireland, and then even if you want to go down into Ireland, it's all right there. You got France, you've got the Netherlands, you've got Denmark, you've got so many different countries. You got Belgium right there. There's so many places to go and see. It's an amazing country. England, I love you. I'm sure some British people are watching this like, Trey, you're high right now, but I love it. I really do love the UK. Okay, now I'm really letting the bull loose in the China shop with this next country, and I think it's one that's going to shock a lot of people. But if you know me, if you've had a conversation with me in the last few years, you will know that this country is very, very near and dear to my heart. So coming in at number 2 is Czechia. So before moving from Hawaii to Germany, Czechia was just never a place that was really even on my radar. Sure, I had a few friends that had been to Prague before, they had been to the Bone Church, and that was really it for me, right? I just thought it was like a historic city and then the Bone Church, right? I just, very, very ignorant mindset, right? Very closed-mindedness. But when I tell you, when we crossed the border into Czechia, I instantly fell in love, right? Super green, lush. People drive smartly and intelligently, right? There's no like clownery or buffoonery on the roads. And also just, I love the fact that it's a very, very globally diverse country, if that makes sense. I also love the fact that there is a ton of pride from the citizens that live there. I mean, I think for the most part, most of us know the history of Czechia, the once Czech Republic, and we understand where the country has risen from. But there's a real sense of pride, and you get that from all of the flags to the people just making sure that there's no trash on the street. And speaking of trash, Czechia is one of the cleanest countries I've ever seen on earth, right? And I loved my time there. And I've been back there about 4 or 5 times. And every time that I'm there, it's extremely difficult to leave because I really have a true love for the people, the food, the archaeological sites. There's always something going on. Markets, Christmas markets, parades, festivals, music venues, sporting events. There's people from all over the world there. I just love it. But what I love the most about Czechia, surprisingly, is the outdoors. Now, as you know, I'm a runner, right? And so I run a lot. Not the best country to run in because it is extremely hilly. There's some areas that are a little bit mountainous, but some of the best public parks that I've ever seen. Well manicured, safe, well lit at nighttime, just incredible, right? Super friendly people, kids out playing with their brothers and sisters, parents, watching the kids. Golden has been out in the parks there every time we go pretty much. There's literally hundreds of parks to choose from just in the Prague area alone. But I just love it. And another thing that people tend to lose sight of as well is there's an entire country outside of just Prague, obviously, right? Or Pilsen or one of the other larger cities. If you're big in the outdoors, some of the greatest hiking can be found towards the east of the country. There are canyons, there are rock formations. If you're big into action sports and stuff like that, you could find pretty much everything you want in Czechia. And it's a really impeccable country in a number of ways. Some of the nicest people that I've ever met in my life have been Czech and have come from the Czech Republic, or they have come from elsewhere and decided to call Czechia home. It's like you instantly almost learn to just let the barricades and barriers that you have down when you move to Czechia, because people are extremely open-minded and very, very friendly there. If you really want to gauge what I mean by that, I made a video talking about an experience that I had where this couple gave my son a toy randomly in a restaurant, and it was a toy, it was a car, it was their kid's car that they gave to my son, and they didn't know us at all, they just gave it to us, and I'm like, man, this is nice. I've never experienced this anywhere on earth. And so that's just one of the many experiences that I can give you about my time in Czechia, just proving how great the people are. But the people there are amazing. Great nightlife, tons of historical opportunities. Yeah, I just love Prague. Some of the most impressive cathedrals that I've seen. Just there's so much to see and do. Amazing country that I would move to in a heartbeat. I would obviously live in Prague, most likely, just because it's one of the larger cities, and there's a big airport that can get me around Europe, get me in and out of Europe too if I needed to come back to the States. But I love Czechia. Super special place in my heart. It's also super safe. I don't really mind the weather. Sure, it snows a lot in the winter and it gets frigid, it gets extremely cold, but I don't mind that at all. And I love it. I love the aesthetic of the country. I love the people. I love the food. I love how far the country has come, and it'll always be second home to me. Last but not least, should come as no surprise if you have spoken to me over the years. I love this country, and I actually have family from this country, right? My ancestry originated in this country, and it's just a country that I'm telling you right now, if you were like, Trey, let's go, man, I'd be out. I even tell myself that in the mirror every day. Country number 3 for me is Spain. I love Spain more than you all know, man. Talk about a country where not only is it extremely fun to be there, and there's beautiful women and beautiful people in general, and just always something going on. There's a real energy within Spain, and it doesn't matter where you are. You could be in Madrid, you could be in Barcelona, you could be in Malaga, you could be anywhere in the country, right? You can be in even some of the smaller cities, and there's like a real energy. And maybe it's because I have like a connection there, right? That's where my ancestors hail from. But yeah, I've never had a feeling like I have being in Spain. Food. tapas, like you can find, but also I know I'm big on tapas and that's like what the primary focus is in Spain, but you can also find whatever food you want. Chinese, Italian, Portuguese, you can find any food that you want. Yeah, I just remember being so surprised by that. Like finding Mexican food and finding like American soul food in places in Spain. I never expected to see that, but they have everything that you could want right there. Now, one of the other things that I really love about Spain is just how clean it is. You know I mentioned how clean Czechia was, but Spain, like I literally didn't see a single piece of trash anywhere I went. No cigarette butts, no beer bottles, no gum wrappers, no gum, no animal droppings, nothing at all anywhere I went. Sidewalks, side roads, nothing. No trash anywhere, no trash on the side of the road, just extremely, extremely clean. And it's like almost like eerily clean, but it just goes to show how much pride the people of Spain have in their country. One thing that I love about Spain so much is the roads and the sidewalks are so smooth and so nice. They're perfectly manicured. They are amazing. And it's like, it's also so clean here. This is the cleanest country that I think I have ever been to. But wow, this place you can literally eat off of the ground. There is no trash, there's no bottles, there's no cigarette butts. This place is just super, super clean. Now, my favorite part of Spain is not Barcelona, it's not Madrid. It's actually the south of Spain on the Costa del Sol. It's called Malaga. Now, Malaga is a huge city and Europeans flock to Malaga. You know, I think a lot of people don't realize just how amazing of a city that it truly is. And for me, the south of Spain, best place on earth. Right? I actually plan on buying and investing in real estate there just because that's my home, man. That's like actually where my family comes from in Spain. So like I want to return home because that is home for me. And you know, I just love it. And the south of Spain specifically, right? During the day, right? On a clear day, you can actually see Africa from most parts, right? From Malaga, from Marbella or any of the southern cities, Tenerife, you can see Africa. And I love that so much. Some of the best beaches that I've ever been to, and I've lived in Hawaii, some of the best beaches that I've ever seen on earth. Super serene, water's warm. Just, I love Spain so much. There just never seems to be a dull moment in Spain. You know, if you're big into sports, they've got La Liga, they've got Spanish Basketball League, you know, they've got so much going on there, and I love it. There's always something to do and see. The people are beautiful. It's a very colorful culture, and if you're big into history, you know, of course, there's Barcelona and Madrid, but there's also smaller cities around that, you know, there's so much to see and do. Now, I know we're talking about Spain, but one place I would love to go that I do have ancestral roots in as well is Portugal. Now, I've heard amazing things, incredible things about Portugal. And it's one country that I unfortunately have not gotten the chance to go to yet, but it's definitely on my radar. And yeah, it seems very similar to Spain in a lot of ways, especially from a cost of living standpoint. But yeah, that's one place that I'm like super duper excited to go to. And the final reason why Spain is like the place that I will 110% live one day is the cost of living. I mean, I can get a really nice condo, home, apartment, anything that I want there, I can get for a super affordable price. Now, I know it's a little bit controversial because the salaries are lower there, but honestly, I work remote. So I work in the United States, but I can work anywhere I want in the world. Like I'm gonna be in Costa Rica in a couple of weeks, and I'm gonna be literally here with this stuff, like working, right? And then I'm gonna go out, hike, surf, do whatever I need to do. That's the advantage I have of working remotely. And so I, will take this American salary over to Spain and I'll be living like a king. So I love it, man. And the homes there are beautiful. They're stunning. Now look, I can spend hours talking about Spain, but those are the things that really matter to me, right? Food, people, safety, culture, cost of living. These are all things that are super important to me. This is why Spain is like untouchable for me personally when it comes to life in Europe. Now I know there are several other places that people probably think it's cheaper or better or whatnot, and those places are great. Enjoy them. Invite me over. I'll invite you to Spain. I'll invite you to Czechia. I'll invite you to Denmark, the UK, everywhere else, the Netherlands, everywhere else. So yeah, I've enjoyed this a lot. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. It was fun to make. You know, I haven't been to Europe in some time. It's been a couple of months since I've been back, but you know, I do plan on going back soon. There's so much to see and do, and obviously my son lives there, so I want to go back and I have to go back to see him. So I hope you all got a lot of value from this video. I know that some of you are probably disappointed that your country didn't make the list, but that doesn't mean that your country is not great. It just means that these are the countries that really resonated with me personally. So don't take any offense to it. Now, like I said, I am going to be heading off to Costa Rica in a couple of weeks, which I'm super excited for. I've never been to Central America. I've never even been to Mexico before. I've been all over the world, but I've never been to Mexico or Central America. And I've certainly never been to Costa Rica. So I'm super excited for that trip. Gonna have a fun time going with some friends. We're gonna surf, we're gonna eat, we're gonna drink, we're gonna hike, we're gonna have a great time, and yeah. So if you do have any questions for me, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. If you also have any insight on countries or places that would actually resonate with me, I think you guys get my personality at this point in the video. Just shoot me those places below, or if there's any like specific cities or you think that like would really like stick with me and I would be the perfect fit in, like let me know, right? I'm an open-minded individual. I've lived in a lot of different places. I've been in a lot of different situations. And even though I'm in a position now to live wherever I want, I really do have to keep a few things in mind. I have a son, right? So I have to be close to him. I have to be as close to him as possible. And I also want to be in places where there's always something going on, right? And while I love peace and solitude, right, that you'll find in like most, you know, agricultural spaces and, you know, places a little bit further out in the countryside, I would prefer ideally to be in a place that's a little bit more centralized. So yeah, just keep that in mind if you're suggesting anything. If you did get any value or entertainment out of this video, please leave a huge thumbs up, as it does help myself, the channel, and you, and all the people that are going to be watching this stuff in a number of ways. So I hope you guys did enjoy this. I hope you guys take care of yourselves. It is a very interesting time in the world right now. So just remember to take care of each other, love one another. I know that all sounds fine and dandy, but just go out and smile in somebody's face. You know, I guarantee it'll help somewhat, or make you look crazy, but who cares? At least you're being yourself. So take care of each other. As always, thank you for the love and support. Thank you. Mahalo for watching.